I want to talk about the 15 alcoholic drinks per person per day limit on some cruise lines and why so many people are upset with it. And it's probably not for the reasons that you think. Let's get into it. Now, whenever I talk about this topic, the first thing I usually hear from someone is, well, if you drink 15 alcoholic drinks in a day, you're an alcoholic. I think that's wild because when people go on vacation, they tend to do more. They tend to be extra because they're on vacation. When people go on a cruise and they eat a ton of food, you don't immediately say, wow, that person must have binge eating disorder. When a person goes on vacation and spends a lot of money that they usually don't spend when they're at home, you don't immediately go, wow, that person has a shopping addiction. When a person goes on vacation and makes love with their partner more than they normally would when they're at home, you don't go, wow, clearly they're sex addicts. Well, I'm sure some of you do because some of you are just miserable. But I'm talking about like the general population. We tend to accept that when people go on vacation, they just do a little more because that's what people tend to do on vacation is do a little more. That's what makes vacations fun. You want to cut loose, enjoy yourself. And so that means a lot of people drink more, a lot more. For type A people like myself, we spend most of our day to day lives obsessing over everything. That's why we're type A's. We get shit done. We closely monitor situations. We are on top of it. We are always looking for problems. We are always solving problems. We are micromanagers. And so when you set an alcoholic drink limit on the type A people, we don't like it because whether or not we want to admit it, we're going to obsess over that because that's just how our brains work. So for somebody like me who's never going to hit the 15 limit, simply having the limit makes me start monitoring and watching every single thing that I'm drinking and doing. Then there are people that are casual sippers. They like to go on vacation and they like to wake up and have like a drink per hour, casually sipping throughout the day. For these people, the alcoholic drink limit per day is frustrating because then they have to start like carefully choosing what they're going to sip on in a way that they normally wouldn't. I know quite a few casual sippers who will get up and have, two or three Bloody Marys in the morning and then have like two or three margaritas for lunch. They'll have like two or three cocktails in between lunch and dinner while they're drinking a lot of butter, while they're eating a lot of food. And so these people aren't like drunk all day. These people are like trying a bunch of drinks, enjoying themselves. And for them, it's frustrating because they have to start making very careful choices about what they're casually sipping. And for them, it's kind of frustrating. Then you have the people that believe very strongly that setting limits on alcoholic drinks encourages the cruise lines to water down their beverages. These are the people who are like, you know what? They're already trying to save money by limiting how much we could drink. So it makes sense that they would try to limit us even more by watering everything down. These people are more likely to feel like they're being ripped off and they hate the limit because they feel like they're paying for something that they're not going to fully get. And then you have a significant portion of people that hate the 15 alcoholic drink limit because they are seeing the death of the all-inclusive cruise. As cruise lines begin to set limits on how much a person can eat and how much a person can drink and what you can do and what you can't, it really does kill the all-inclusive vibe. For these people, they see it as the cruise line slowly moving into pay as you go for everything. Because kind of the cruise lines becoming like airlines have been, where they want to nickel and dime you for each and every little thing. And for these people, they hate the limit, not because they're an alcoholic, but because, hey, we see what you're doing. You're moving us away from the everything's included to the every single little thing is going to cost you price model. And for them, that's why they hate it. So I would encourage you the next time somebody criticizes a cap or a limit on cruising, your first reaction not immediately be, you're just a glutton. The discussion is actually a lot more nuanced. I know that we love our cruise lines and I know that we feel loyal to our favorite brands. I get it. But maybe the first jerk reaction shouldn't be to label strangers that we know little to nothing about. Maybe it would be good to, I don't know, hear them out, consider what they have to say. I don't feel that this is a very big ask, but I feel like for a lot of you, it seems like Mount Everest. Questioning the policy of a company doesn't mean that you hate them. It shouldn't immediately make you an enemy or an awful person. Some people just like to ask questions. Sometimes asking questions is a really good thing because I know last year when Royal Caribbean started asking passengers if they would pay for Sorrentos, the pushback was so strong that they made it clear they weren't going to do that. They were not going to charge people for the Sorrentos. The next time you're on Royal Caribbean and you get in that Sorrentos line and you're enjoying your free pizza, you need to think about all the people that went, hey, we don't want to have to pay for that. We don't think that's a good policy. Anyway, those are just my thoughts. You can let me know what you think in the comments.